So I'm going to be sharing my top tips to get healthy, shiny, frizz-free hair. These tips have been so transformative for my hair and literally helped repair so much damage that I had previously. So let's get into it. So I've said it before and I'm gonna say it again. I highly recommend not washing your hair often. I only do it once a week, and why? That's because your scalp produces natural oils that is so healthy for your hair. And when you allow your scalp and your hair to absorb those oils, they're really getting the benefits. When I was younger, my hairdresser is the one that actually told me I really shouldn't be washing my hair often, and I was shocked, but I tried it and she was right. Ever since then, my hair has been healthier, shinier, and I feel like it's grown much longer, much faster because of it. Okay, so I know that hair oiling has become a very big trend, but that is for good reason, because I have noticed a huge difference since doing this for the last 2 months. And that's because truly oiling your hair and scalp really leaves your hair very frizz-free. A lot of people don't realize how important a healthy scalp is for healthy hair. So I like to specifically use rosemary oil because of its hair growth benefits. So I basically take the dropper and just apply it directly to the scalp, all the way from the top and down to the bottom of my scalp. I like going in with this extra little step here, a scalp massager, because it really helps to penetrate those oils into your scalp. Not to mention though, it also is a nice little massage. Like, your scalp will literally tingle, so I can tell that it's really activating the oil. I love doing this extra little step. Last little step is to make sure you also apply oil on the mids and ends of your hair as well, because that's super important to hydrate your hair and nourish your hair, and it's basically just like a super deep reparative mask for your hair. I like to do this at least once every 2 weeks, so I do recommend letting it sit in your hair for at least 30 minutes, preferably an hour. I never go more than like 3-4 hours though, because you actually don't want to leave the oil in your hair for too long. Just kind of wrap your hair up in a bun and relax, let that sit. Once it's been about an hour or so, you do want to make sure to shampoo your hair very well to get all that oil off. So regardless, I always double shampoo, but especially because you have all that oil sitting in your scalp and hair, you definitely want to make sure to double shampoo. So I never shampoo the mid to ends of my hair. I pretty much lather it on my scalp only, but because I do have that hair oil on the mid and ends of my hair, I will just kind of gently go through it to help it remove it. The next tip is to use a natural oil instead of buying these expensive, overpriced oils that are not even natural, that are not even pure. A lot of the times they have parabens, fragrance added, which can dry out your hair, sulfates. It is so much healthier to just use a natural hair oil. So pick one that is perfect for your hair texture. For me, because I have more fine hair, kind of like a medium fine, I use jojoba oil because it's very lightweight. It doesn't make my hair greasy, but even with it being lightweight, I still only use max 2 drops, but it is the best thing you could ever do to your hair. Like, ditch the expensive fake hair oils. They're fake, they're not even real, and they're not even pure. A lot of them use mineral oils to kind of like water it down, because those are cheaper oils and cheaper ingredients to source for the brand. So you're not even getting the pure health benefits of a good natural oil. You guys know I've been on my clean journey and just trying to eliminate a lot of really bad ingredients in hair products, skincare products, beauty, all around, which actually brings me to today's sponsor, Scentbird. So Scentbird actually has an entire clean fragrance selection. If you don't know what Scentbird is, they are an amazing subscription service where you can try high-end designer fragrances for only $17 a month. So I love that with Scentbird, I can try multiple different fragrances and see what I like before committing. This is great because you can just wear different fragrances all the time and switch it up constantly. My favorite note in a fragrance is vanilla. Hands down, I don't care if that makes me basic. I love a good vanilla note. And this one, it's by La Vanilla and it's called Vanilla Grapefruit. It is absolutely insane. This is hands down going to be my absolute new favorite fragrance. This one is Also Vert by Sintra. I really hope I'm not butchering that, but this one has sandalwood and musk. It just has a nice deep warm smell. This one is by Ex Nihilo, hope I'm saying that right again, and it's Vesper Glitz. So this also has vanilla, but it has mandarin, so it's a little bit different than what I'm used to, but I absolutely love it for those days when I really want to switch it up. Not to mention the packaging that Scentbird gives. I love how travel friendly it is. It locks and unlocks so you can easily toss it into your purse or into your luggage if you're traveling. When I was going through their website, I was blown away because they have over 600 perfumes and colognes to go through. A lot of them retail for $150, even some of them $300 to $600. So it's incredible that you can try these for $17 a month. You guys can actually get 55% off with my code Macedo. So I'm gonna leave the link in the description box down below for you guys to try Scentbird. Okay, this is like a little trick, tip, hack, whatever you want to call it, that I learned on TikTok, was actually applying oil on damp hair. That's something I've never done. I've always only applied oil once my hair was styled and dry, but if you just apply, I don't do much, if you just apply 1 to 2 drops of oil on the ends of your wet hair, your hair actually absorbs it so well, and you'll notice that your hair is extra soft when you go ahead and dry it and style it. This is one of my biggest tips to get frizz-free hair. When you are blow drying your hair, do not use the warm setting or the hot setting. Put it on the cool air setting. Because when you mix heat with moisture, aka wet hair, it creates humidity, which creates frizz. It's obvious, it's in the science, y'all. I can't believe we never thought of that before. Like this whole time for years, I was blow drying my hair with warm heat, and I'm like, why is my hair so frizzy? Because you're literally creating humidity and frizz. So definitely dry your hair with cool setting on your blow dryer, and then when you want to style your hair, once your hair is dry, you can go ahead and switch it to the hot setting, and then you can use heat. I could never for the life of me figure out why my blowouts would come out so frizzy, and this is literally why. So this is how you're going to get frizz-free hair after blow drying and styling. One of the healthiest things you can do for your hair is to avoid hair products that have silicones and sulfates and even parabens and so much more. But specifically with silicones, what they basically do is they coat your hair to leave your hair with that soft, silky finish. But what that ends up doing is it can cause a lot of buildup on your hair, which can lead to dryness eventually in the future. And I noticed that it weighs down your hair a lot too. So I've noticed ever since eliminating silicones that my hair is a lot more volumized. Definitely recommend reading the ingredient labels on those products. Something that gets so overlooked is being very gentle with your hair in order to avoid breakage, because you definitely can cause more damage and breakage to your hair if you are super rough with it. And one of the things that helps a lot is when you brush your hair, make sure you're starting from the bottom and then going upwards. That way you're not pulling and tugging from the root of your hair when your hair is tangled, and it just puts more stress on the hair, which then causes breakage. So this is something I always do, whether my hair is dry or wet. I always brush from the bottom and then work my way up to the top. When you first get out of that shower, do not rub your hair with a towel. You want to just gently pat it dry, but definitely do not rub, because you're just going to create frizz and you're also going to create breakage. When your hair is wet, it is actually the most vulnerable, so you definitely want to be very gentle with your hair. Trimming your hair regularly is definitely a way to keep your hair looking healthy. I don't necessarily believe it's what makes your hair grow faster or anything like that. I know there's a lot of myths out there, but it definitely keeps your hair looking healthy, because if you have split ends, your hair is not going to look good. So trimming your hair regularly every 3 to 4 months, I think, is such a good practice to do. I like to trim my hair myself. I am not a professional, but I basically follow the haircut that my hairdresser does and just kind of like follow along the lines of that. And there are so many tips and tricks out there that you can do to give yourself a good at-home haircut. But again, I'm just doing a little trim, nothing fancy. I do still go to my hairdresser to get a nice proper cut at least once a year or so that I can get it styled and cut nicely. So in the past, I was always under this impression that using a hair mask was like a treatment, a special treatment that you should only do once a month or so, but
No, scratch that. You should use a hair mask after every single wash because it is going to deeply, deeply repair and replenish your hair and just give it that extra moisture and hydration. Apply it all over. Let it sit for at least 5 minutes. I like to brush it through to make sure it gets all over. And you want to make sure you're doing it directly after shampoo and before your conditioner. So after I rinse it out, then I will go in with some conditioner still and put the conditioner only on the mid to the ends of my hair. So I always used to underestimate the importance of scalp health, and let me tell you, it is so important to have a healthy scalp to have healthy hair. So I like to use this exfoliating scalp shampoo about twice a month, so usually every 2 weeks. Go in with that scalp massager to really get it in there, and this really does a good job at removing any buildup or dandruff. So sometimes you can do all the hair tricks and tips that you want, but your hair still isn't looking right, and that could be because you have some sort of vitamin deficiency. A few years ago, I was losing chunks and chunks of hair. Turns out I had my blood work done and I was very deficient in vitamin D, and I also discovered I had the hypothyroidism. So sometimes it's worth it to look a little deeper than just what's on the surface and look internally. Now I barely lose any hair when I brush and when I shower. So I've noticed a huge improvement since taking my vitamin D drops.
Hope you guys enjoyed seeing my tips for healthy hair. Let me know in the comment section down below what your best hair care tip is, because I'm always looking to try new things. Also, quick little reminder that you can try Scentbird for 55% off your first month using my code Macedo. So definitely check them out. I'm gonna leave my link down below. And thank you guys so much for watching. Mwah.